go and you win.
And did you get my point a little bit earlier on about the point situation? Despite the fact Richard Wren is on 106 points and Adam Jenkinson on just 84, after they take their worst 2 rounds out, 86 points will be Richard Wren's score,
yes,
and 84 will be Adam Jenkinson's.
Adam Jenkinson's 2 worst results being 2 DNFs, so it's still really, really close.
Unbelievably close. That's Richard Wren on the right hand of the picture, and Adam Jenkinson right alongside him there on bike number 11. 37 is, of course, James Hillier, and then Ollie Bridewell on the left-hand side with the bright yellow helmet. Ollie Bridewell getting an absolutely appalling start from that inside position, so he's going to have to work very hard from where he is. But out front goes Richard Wren, being chased in by James Hillier. James Hillier slots into 2nd place. Adam Jenkinson already back down to 4th place. Ollie Bridewell loses another place, goes into 5th. So Ollie Bridewell in all sorts of trouble at the moment. He goes back to 2nd now. He's been barged out even further. Oliver Bridewell is in all sorts of trouble at the start here.
Good effort from Wren, considering he's never seen this racetrack before and had 1 practice session out there, and even then conditions were a bit dodgy. So Richard Wren out in front already on a track that he's never raced at before.
Well, a lot of these guys haven't raced here, of course, although a few of them did test here last week, I believe. Richard Wren not being one of them. It's a long way up here, and they don't have a lot of money in that team. He hopefully picked up that new sponsor. I think he was looking for GT Motorcycles. I think we're about to get involved with him, but I'm talking from memory, which is always a fatal thing to do. Through comes 42. Guy Sanders, our one to watch then. Guy Sanders is right there now. Oh, hairpin for the first time. R6 Cup and a hairpin. Somehow those two just don't go together, do they?
And we saw just during the warm-up laps, there was a few spots of rain, and you see that dark sky in the background there. So these guys have been wanting to get this over as quickly as possible.
Connor Cummins, he was our one to watch at Snellerton. He's through on bike number 3, the Manxman. Then he's from the Isle of Man. Oh, Jimmy, loads of pushing and shoving. That's Adam Jenkinson. He won 3 out of 3 races early in the season. And since then, everyone's picked up the pace in the R6 Cup. No jump starts, it says on my monitor here, so we are in a race. All this lot are racing. Hillier comes to the lead. Hillier takes the place from Richard Wren.
James Hillier, good.
Yep, James Hillier. That's...
Not for long.
Sit on him, why don't you, Richard? So Richard Wren, absolutely. James Hillier on the braking area down into the airpin. If he makes that turn, I'll be amazed.
And he did. He pulled it tight. He got in there. It's dry around there now. James Hillier, brilliant job. It's great watching these guys, because most of them, as you said, haven't raced at this track before, so they're pretty much learning it as they go. The
great point as well being, Neil, is they never had hardly any track time yesterday. They had no qualifying time at all. The grid positions were from their championship positions. Incredible.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant job, and learning as they go. Fortunately, it's dry now.
Hillier, Wren, Cummins, your top 3. Sanders, Jenkinson and Ollie Bridewell, who seems to have gone up and down like a yo-yo in that front view positions. Lee, Glynn, Edmeades, Cox, Bray and McFeely round out our leaderboard, top 12. But James Hillier, well, is this going to be the first win for James Hillier? Certainly this year. 2nd place in the opening round at Silverstone, but since then, I think he had a 3rd place at Snellerton, a DNF in the 2nd round at Brands Hatch, 3rd place at Snellerton, and then he seems to have gone through a load of 4th and 5ths. But James Hillier, fastest lap as well, could be his turn, Neil.
He's certainly consistent. 3rd place in the championship, and I mean, when you get rid of these worst results, he's not that far away from the lead, especially if he wins today. He's a rider, he says he wants to move up to Superbike, he wants to follow in the footsteps of Tommy Hill. If that doesn't happen, a top Supersport ride would suit him. And I guess from R6, which are Supersport bikes, to the proper British Championship in Supersports would be an ideal switch for James Hillier.
Well, James Hillier, as Guy Sanders, our one to watch, puts in the fastest lap of the race. He certainly responded to that. He came along and introduced himself to me at our television trucks the other day. Thoroughly nice fella, known as the Colonel. No guesses for why if your name's Sanders for a second name, I suppose. So the Colonel in 5:42 there, trying to ram it up the inside of Connor Cummins. By the looks to me, it was indeed Connor Cummins. Connor Cummins, big tall lad, not able to tuck behind that, whereas Guy Sanders, shall we say, vertically challenged.
He's doing a good job. He's on the move now down the inside into the airpin, not quite close enough. A little bit bumpy and damp in the inside there for outbreaking manoeuvres today.
Now then, looking at countback, James Hillier, at the moment, if you start looking at the dropping these 2 rounds off of this series, as you've got to do at some stage, he has got 2 other riders right on his straight, only 2 points between him and 2 other riders that are chasing him. So James Hillier needs a result here, if he can get it, to try and break away in that 3rd place in the series.
Certainly would be very handy. Adam Jenkinson, the rider that looked so strong early in the season, he's down in 5th position, not really making any headway at the moment.
No, I think Richard Wren has emerged as the one, certainly, that is doing the performances at the moment. He's quite experienced, Richard Wren. He's done the MRO 600 series in a couple of places. I don't think he's done it up here. No, he certainly hasn't been to this racetrack. In fact, I do remember speaking to his dad earlier on in the week telling me that he hadn't been here before and they didn't come up to test here either. So Richard Wren probably is the kiddie at the moment, as Guy Sanders takes another place on Connor Cummins. Well, second place last time at Brands Hatch. He knows Brands Hatch, of course, whereas he doesn't know this place, never been here before. So Guy Sanders, he really is an unknown quantity here at Knockhill, and he is making great inroads into this. He's third now, he's come up into third place. Superb performance. This is the braking manoeuvre down at the hairpin, fairly standard thing to be doing. Of course, you look a complete idiot if you get it wrong. Named after Jock Taylor, this hairpin, the famous world champion sidecar racer, killed sadly in Finland a few years ago. Is one of my era and a very, very good friend to all of us of a certain age. James Hillier, fastest lap.
Good job there in front there. He's at the front and second fastest lap, so he's obviously confident. The track pretty much dry, certainly on race lines.
Yeah, looking good at the moment. I think the R6 Cup boys, judging by a look out of our commentary box window here, these could be the last boys to see this dry surface. Still it is Hillier out front. We're at the hairpin again. It comes around so quick. Just 1.2 miles around this racetrack. 56-second laps as far as the R6 boys are concerned. Look at that black cloud in the background. It gives us a nice backdrop for the red R6s as they come over the hill and on to Duffer's Dip.
Richard Wren just put it in the fastest lap, and I'm just thinking visually it looks a little bit closer, so we'll have to keep our eye on Richard Wren in second position at the moment. He took 0.2 of a second out of leader James Hillier.
We're on lap 7 of 17. James Hillier has control as he goes through the chicane. Flies up along the back onto Clark Curve. This is Clark Curve. Then you've got that long left-hander onto the back straight that's known as Hislops. Many a corner being named after the famous Scotsman Steve Hislop. And again, just to remind you, sadly died in a helicopter accident last year.
There's a trophy today, a presentation for the fastest lap in Knockhill this weekend. I think Steve's mum's going to present that award.
Steve Hislop, well, a great friend and certainly a superb rider. One of the best Scotland's ever seen. Company accepted there, Neil.
James Hillier extended his lead to 2.1 seconds on that last lap, so he's responded well.
Richard Wren in second place, there he is, bike 24. Richard versus Saunders, 9/10 of a second difference. And it's Saunders who has the fastest lap, and you can see fastest lap between these two, I should say, Richard Wren and Guy Saunders. So Saunders really has picked his day to become the one to watch, and everybody is watching him now. He's already dispensed with Connor Cummins there on bike number 3. He's back in fourth place now. Second and third it is, rear wheel aviated as they, I tell you what, Richard Wren,
some time.
His front end was just locked a little bit, I believe, going in there. Looked like the front wheel actually stopped as he had to keep the thing upright. He couldn't tip it over with the motorbike out of control like that. But I have to tell you that Guy Saunders didn't appear to close in any on them, despite that mistake. Maybe he went wide as well.
Well, you know how it is when a rider runs wide, you tend to follow and think, why did I do that?
Whistle being blown, that means there is an incident on the track. The marshals are blowing a whistle. So expect to see a flag somewhere soon.
There's a rider down just in front at the chicane, number 49.
49, you want to know who that is?
Russell Hodgson.
Rusty Hodgson, he has had a lot of luck in this series, hasn't he? Not, that's 2. Last year he had a tremendous amount of crashes to his name, so Rusty Hodgson finds himself parked in the bails again. Lap 9 of 17. This is your race leader, number 37, James Hillier. Richard Wren still in second place, being chased hard by Guy Sanders. And I think that has dropped that gap between Hillier and Wren. 1.9 seconds it was last time round, coming down from 2.3 seconds. So James Hillier under a little bit of pressure because we've got a long way still to go in this race as they come to start lap 10.
It really is seesawing that gap at the front. Guy Saunders is making inroads into Richard Wren there. He's right on his back wheel now.
You know, I have to say, despite the fact he finished second at Brands Hatch, Guy Sanders, these kids in this R6 Cup race situation, they keep popping up, new names. You think you've done your prep, you think you've covered your boundaries, and as a commentator, you go and check them out, go and take a look at them, go and watch them in practice, and then lo and behold, get to a race and you're surprised yet again.
It's absolutely brilliant, and just when you think you've got a series leader or someone that's going to run away with it, someone else down.
That's not a race leader, surely. It's not the race leader. That looks like Jenkinson. It is Jenkinson. Adam Jenkinson is out. Well, that's another DMF belt. Adam Jenkinson. He looked so dominant at the beginning of this series.
3 crashes.
Adam Jenkinson then finds himself, and that looks like a right ankle injury as well. So Adam Jenkinson, what Same place.
Coming up the chicane.
Yeah, so easy to do.
Back, yeah, because it crests the crown of the track there, and as you're going over, the back comes light, and it's so easy for it to come round.
Well, I think he's just joined Rusty Hodgson there as well. I think that's the corner that Rusty Hodgson is off to. Adam Jenkinson out of this race as well. No points scored for him. Not very good as far as Jenkins. He'll stay on 84 points, of course, but he's going to slip down the order now. I'll tell you what, I think his second place is going to be overtaken. It's certainly if Guy Sanders and Ollie, we've got to look for James Hillier. If James Hillier wins this, he will go to 85 points and will overtake Adam Jenkinson in the series. So if Hillier manages to hang on, he will be up to second place in the championship. There is 24, Richard Wren. Second place, 42 is Guy Sanders. He is in third place at the moment. Still leading though, James Hillier, but not by as much as he was. 1.8 seconds it was down to on the last lap. It was 1.9 before and 2.3 before that. It's 1.3 seconds now. It's dropping lap after lap, and we are only on lap 12 of 17. There is enough time for these two to catch your race leader.
Well, Richard Wren must be getting excited, but he's also got a passenger on board in the form of Guy Sanders going with him all the way. So it really is any one of these three that can win this R6 Cup race.
James Hillier still out front. What can he do? Can he hang on? That's the big question. What do you reckon, Neil?
I think he's going to come under a fair bit of pressure, and a red flag. We got a red flag. Not sure what that is, unless it's Adam Jenkinson that needs to
be difficult racetrack. And we have just seen the Yamaha R6 Cup race, and it was stopped because of this incident where Adam Jenkinson found himself spat over the bike, and I think you can see the reason why this race had to be stopped in the end. It is a full race distance. It's been qualified as a race now, so that is a win for James Hillier. The Winchester Hampshire rider gets himself into the lead. So the 19-year-old then wins on the Eddles Carpets Gearlink Salisbury sponsored R6. James Hillier takes his first win of the year from Richard Wren, who is well and truly on top of this championship now. James Hillier moves up into second place in the series. Guy Sanders, my one to watch, third place. Great result for him. Connor Cummins in fourth place. John Boyley, Ollie Bridewell, James Edmeade, the top 15, of course. There it is, Richard Wren, 126 points. Well, 30 points is a big lead in the R6 Cup to have at this particular point in the season. Of course, James Hillier is there in second place now, having taken advantage, I would say, of Adam Jenkinson's misfortune. Adam Jenkinson with a suspected fracture in that accident. Bridewell in fourth, Guy Sanders in fifth place. John Boy, Gareth Glynn and Pierre Bryce, who doesn't take